Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of the God is a noun and verb, the most merciful God, the bestower of mercy. And this is 99, 9 to each 11 point, verses 52, which is the last surah, the number of male fertility. The bun. Alif Lam Ra Tilka Ayatul Kitab wa Quranim Mubin. A-L-R. These are the signs of the book and the perspicuous Quran. And continue. The time may come when the unbeliever shall wish that they had been Muslim. What's mean? You know, submitters of complete character, of a peaceful character. Those who have resigned, those who have surrendered, you know, unto God. Suffer them to eat and to enjoy themselves, and let hope entertain them. But they shall hereafter know their folly. We have not destroyed any city, but a fixed term was appointed them. No nation shall be punished before their time, neither shall they be respited. They say, O thou to whom the admonition have been sent down, thou art certainly possessed with a devil. Wouldst thou not have come unto us with an attendance of angels, if thou hadst spoken the truth? Answer, we send not down the angels unless on a just occasion, nor should they then be respited any longer. So these black magicians that claim that they take charge over the angels are just lying. They may come down to take part in some punishment for them or witness so that they can witness later in the tribunal against them. No, God knows without such witness, but or so they be then respited any longer. We have surely sent down Alcoran, and we will certainly preserve the same. So those who have said that there's been additions to, or subtractions to the Quran have been refuted by both the history of it, the manuscripts, the language thereof, the meaning. The addition and subtraction is always exposed. The Orientalists who try to reorder the suwar. We have heretofore sent before thee among the ancient sects, and there came no apostle unto them, but they laughed him to scorn. In the same manner will we put it into the hearts of the wicked. They shall not believe on him, and on the sentence of the nations of old hath been executed heretofore. And the sentence. And if we should open a gate in the heaven above them, and they should ascend thereto all day long, that they should rather say, our eyes are only dazzled, or rather we are the people deluded by enchantments. And that's part of the reason why some people don't have certain spiritual experiences, because they will misuse their experience or turn against it, or it will remove their final excuse, and they'll be even worse off. We have placed signs in the heaven. And we have sent them out for the spectators, and we guard them from every devil driven away with stones, except him who listeneth by stealth, at whom a visible flame is darted. Now, meteors come for other reasons too. And does it say that this is the only way that meteors come? No, but it makes a point that cannot be refuted by science, that there's a metaphysical occurrence to the physical phenomena. We have also spread forth the earth and thrown thereon stable mountains, and we have caused every kind to spring forth in the same, according to a determinate weight. And we have provided therein necessaries of life for you and for him whom ye do not sustain. There is no one thing, but the storehouses thereof are in our hands, and we distribute not the same than in a determinate measure. We also send the winds, driving the pregnant clouds, and we send down from heaven water. Wherefore we give you to drink, and which ye keep not in store. Verily, we give life, and we put to death, and we are the heirs of all. We know those among you who go before, and we know those who stay behind. People also speak with the royal we, so let's not confuse this, but the things that the angels take part in. Also mentioned this. And thy Lord shall gather them together at the last day, for he is knowing and wise. We created men of dried clay, of black mud formed into shape, and we had before created the devil of a subtle fire. So the jinn are of a different substance. And let's see if the devil... Oh, no, it says jinn. Jinn, the plural of fire being, not all the jinn are evil. Subhanallah. Saying that the devil is different than the other jinn, and it's different things, but it's the jinn of the fire. So it's broader. It's broader than just the demons of the metaphysical. It's the that type of metaphysical being altogether. And when thy Lord sent unto the angels, the black, the light beings, different creation altogether. Verily, I am about to create men of dried clay, of black mud wrought into shape, and all earthly creatures have bodies that are derived from dirt and water, so to speak. Using the language, it fits quite literal. Verily, I'm about to create man of dried clay, of black mud, wrought into shape, when, therefore, I shall have completely formed him, and shall have breathed of my spirit into him, do ye fall down and prostrate. Then fall down, prostrating yourselves unto him. So, it doesn't say that he was worshipped. It says, this was their direction. But the completion of form, doesn't exactly refute the whole evolution. And then God gave one of his spirits that belonged to him. It wasn't God's spirit in the way that, okay, this is my hand, this is, it wasn't that the presence of God was in humans distinctly or something. It was that the man's own spirit belonged to them, and that God owns all, so. And all the angels prostrated together, except Iblis, who refused to be with those who prostrated. And God said, O Iblis, Diabolus, the separate from God, who has that identity as wanting to be separate from God, and Iblis is, separate from, who's lost hope, despaired. What hindereth thee from being with those who worshipped, being with those who prostrated? He answered, It is not fit that I should worship man, whom thou hast created of dried clay, of black mud, wrought into shape. Adam was black because he was from Africa. God said, Get thee therefore hence, for thou shalt be driven away with stones, and a curse shall be on thee until the day of judgment. The devil said, O Lord, give me respite until the day of resurrection. God answered, Verily, thou shalt be one of those who are respited until the day of the appointed time. The devil replied, O Lord, because thou hast seduced me, I will surely tempt them in the earth, and I will seduce such of them as thy, except thy chosen servants. Okay, except seduce such of them of your chosen servants, his chosen servants. My Lord, because you misled me, I shall adorn the path of error for them on earth, and I shall mislead them all, except your chosen slaves among them. Yeah, he's leaving out the exception. God said, This is the right way with me. Verily, as to my servants, thou shalt have no power over them, but over those only who shall be seduced and who shall follow thee. Yeah. So as far as we're not devoted to God, as far as we're not serving God, Satan can have power over us. Verily, as to my servants, thou shalt have no power over them, but over those only who shall be seduced and who follow thee. And hell is surely denounced unto them all. It hath 7 gates. Unto every gate a distinct company of them shall be assigned. But those who fear God shall dwell in gardens amidst fountains. Angels shall say unto them, Enter therein in peace and security, and we will remove all grudges from their breast. They shall be as brethren, alternating over against one another on couches. Sitting over against one another on couches. Weariness shall not affect them therein, neither shall they be cast out thence. Declare unto my servants that I am the gracious, the merciful, and that my punishment is a grievous punishment, and relate unto them of Abraham's guest, when they went in unto him and said, Peace be upon thee. He answered, Verily, we are afraid of you. And they replied, Fear not. We bring thee the promise of a wise son. He said, Do ye bring me the promise of a son? Now old age hath overtaken me. What is it, therefore, that ye tell me? They say, We have told thee the truth. Be not therefore of one of those who despair. He answered, And who despaireth of the mercy of God, except those who err? And he said, What is your errand, therefore, O messengers of God? They answered, Verily, we are sent to destroy a wicked people. But as for the family of Lut, we shall save them all, except his wife. We have decreed that she shall be one of those who remain behind. With so let's remember that your family won't save you. Not your great ancestry, not your immediate family, in terms of God's decree. And when the messengers came to the family of Lut, he said, Verily, ye are a people who are unknown. They answered, But we come unto thee to execute that sentence concerning which your fellow citizens doubted. We tell thee a truth. We are messengers of veracity. So Lut was out there warning his people against the sins of Sodom and Amorah, possibly Gomorrah, that lost letter in the Aramaic that's didn't make it into the biblical Aramaic. Therefore lead forth thy family in some time of the night, and do thou follow behind them, and let none of you turn back, but go whither you are commanded. And we gave him this command because the utmost remnant of those people will be cut off in the morning. And when the inhabitants of the city came unto Lot, rejoicing at the news of the arrival, some strangers, he said unto them, Verily, these are my guests. Wherefore do not disgrace me, but fear God, and put me not to shame. So it would have put him to shame if it was handing over his daughters to be raped or gangbanged or whatever by the crowd. That would have definitely put him to shame and disgrace, both morally and socially. They answered, Have we not forbidden thee from entertaining any man? Lot replied, These are my daughters. If ye be resolved to do what you purpose. Yeah, that would conflict with other. That wouldn't make sense to interpret that he be handing over them for sinful use that he spent all that time preaching against. As thou livest, they wander in their folly. Wherefore a terrible storm from heaven assailed them at sunrise, and we turned the city upside down, and we rained on them stones of baked clay. Verily, herein are signs unto men of sagacity. Possibly otherwise pronounced too. And those cities were punished to point out a right way. Verily, herein is a sign unto true believers. The inhabitants of the wood near Midian were also ungodly. Wherefore we took vengeance on them, and both of them were destroyed, to serve as a manifest rule for men to direct their actions by. And the inhabitants of Hejr is the name of this surah also. And the inhabitants of Hejr likewise heretofore accused the messengers of imposture, and we produced our signs unto them, but they retired afar off from the same, and they hewed houses out of the mountains to secure themselves. But a terrible noise from heaven assailed them in the morning, neither was what they had wrought of any advantage unto them. We have not created the heavens and the earth, and whatever is contained between them, otherwise than in justice, and the hour of judgment shall surely come. Wherefore, forgive thy people with a gracious forgiveness. Verily, thy Lord is the creator of thee. Verily, thy Lord is the creator and knoweth that is most expedient. We have already brought unto thee 7 verses which are frequently to be repeated, and the glorious Koran. So the frequently repeated 7 verses, whether the Bismillah is a 0 verse and not counted amongst those, or otherwise, depending on how you divide it. Surah Al-Fatiha is always 7 verses. Brought unto thee the 7 verses which are frequently to be repeated, and the glorious Quran. Cast not thine eyes on the good things which we have bestowed on several of them. Neither be thou grieved on their account. Behave thyself with meekness towards the true believers, and say, I am a public preacher. They believe not, we will inflict like punishment on them, as we inflicted on the dividers, who distinguished Alcoran into different parts. For by thy Lord we will not demand an account from them all of that which they have brought. So those who have decided, oh, we'll follow that part, not that part. Oh, let's follow the Meccan verses. Let's see these ones are abrogated and not follow the other ones of the same subject, which don't cause confliction or anything like that. That sort of thing. It's for thy Lord who will demand an account from them all of that which they have wrought. Wherefore publish that which thou hast been commanded, and withdraw from the idolaters, probably misassociators is what it means, we will surely take thy part against the scoffers, who associate with God another God. They shall surely know. And now we well know that thou art deeply concerned on the account of that which they say, but do thou celebrate the praises of thy Lord, and be one of those who worship and serve thy Lord until death shall overtake thee. Well, that's obviously what's meant by the the word, the certainty. And what's more certain than death?